Hi, everybody. My name is Carolyn Flower. I'm an author, I'm a publisher, and I am a transformation coach. And I am a client, a very, very satisfied client of Nick's. I wanted to take the opportunity to say a few words to not only show my appreciation for his expertise and how I have taken this information, which is what I was looking for, and applied it and seen some extraordinary results in my life, but to give you maybe a few reasons why I started and some of the things that I did in order to get me here. So I started working with Nick on the 10th of June, which as of today is 100 days. And I'm in the 15th week. I had chosen at the time a 30-week time frame. It just happened to take me to the end of the year, December 31st. There's no coincidence there, as I believe there are none. It's all serendipity. And it turns out that my goal I was imagining as I consult with clients, I encourage them to imagine the goal as if it's already achieved, which is exactly what I did. That was the first thing that I did. What will it feel like on December 31st to have moved all through these next 6 months and look and feel great? And that really was what I was aiming at, feeling really good. I wasn't coming into this program with any particular dis-ease. I wasn't trying to reverse anything other than inflammation, potentially high blood pressure. I wasn't looking for the weight loss as number one, but it certainly was a wonderful byproduct. So I count the days specifically because every day matters. And every day I'm accountable to me. And the beautiful thing about working with Nick is you can be accountable to Nick every day as well. And he will hold you accountable. He'll meet with you. He creates something very personalized for your particular situation. And mine was no different. My husband and I travel quite a bit. I'm in the, I guess, semi-retired category of life. So I sometimes take my work with me, sometimes I don't. I wanted something I could adapt to my lifestyle. And it's really important that we seek out a way that we can adapt, because otherwise it's not sustainable and life moves and changes constantly. The way that Nick has created his program and his way of thinking and philosophies, they are adaptable to any lifestyle. And considering mine moves around quite a bit, I found it easy. And I didn't expect it to be hard necessarily, but perhaps challenging based on different places that I might find myself in different scenarios. Serving for family, for example, big mealtime for our large family gatherings, and meeting with friends and doing some of the activities, the travel and the scenarios we found ourselves in. I thought, I'm going to have to do this one day at a time. And I have continued to do that. So consistency was something that I knew would be very, very important. As any goal setting person, as you all probably are as well, you know that the consistency is really the key. But for me, it began with, what do I really want? And what do I see for myself? And now that I feel that result and I know that it feels really good, then let's reverse engineer it into, what are the habits? What are the changes? What are the shifts in my thinking and my behavior? So my number one goal when I started working with Nick was to eliminate inflammation. That was my first goal. I really had 5, but I had experienced achy joints, and I knew I wasn't suffering from anything that was diagnosable. I knew that it wasn't arthritis, for example. I'm in very good health, but the inflammation was starting to become problematic. And in general, I would have loved to have reduced inflammation. But in fact, what I have done in a very short period of time was completely eliminate it. And that was that was a result that I could feel right away. So when I first met with Nick, that's the first thing I asked. That's my goal. I want to eliminate inflammation. I want to, if I can, over time, eliminate a medication that I had just recently been prescribed for high blood pressure. So I'm 61 years old. Yes, it's in my family. No, if I don't have to take meds, I don't want to. So is that possible? I wanted to learn more about insulin resistance. I wanted to learn how my body could work super efficiently. Turns out Nick's quite an expert in that. And considering what I do for a living really gets at the root cause of people's thinking and their beliefs, he was very much aligned with that philosophy. What is the root cause of why your weight loss is not sustainable? I had recently released weight through Noom a couple of years back. I had run a half marathon. I trained for that. And I released a significant amount of weight from my body, but it was now starting to creep. And I thought, how is that? Why is that? Nick was the perfect person to ask because his entire program is built on how can we not only release weight, if that is your goal, but keep it off. Isn't that why we feel better by being able to sustain our results? So the weight release was definitely part of that, but it was more of a result based on all the other things that he told me that I could achieve. And one of the things that I didn't even realize at the time was a goal, but it became one, is that I have a family history as well of dementia, and more particularly Lewy body dementia, which my mother and grandmother and aunts, all the women in my family suffered from. So am I in line for it? Who knows? But I really did want to significantly reduce the chances by increasing my lifestyle ability and to feel really great. Life is wonderful, and there are so many experiences yet to have. And our goal is to be able to feel the best that we can. So where did I start? Conversation with Nick, phenomenal resource, expert guidance, and a really nice guy who wants your growth and transformation at the beginning as much or if not more than you do. And I could relate to that because that's how I feel when I work with somebody new. I want them to see the goals achieved that they desire. So I asked him, what do I have to do? Because my thinking already knew that I had achieved the goal. So what do I have to now do? And he gave me a series of actions, one of which was to change the ingredients in my kitchen. And I did that right away. And I was shocked by what I learned on those labels. And if you're like me, you're aware of labels, you read them, but you're really not understanding. I wasn't understanding how many different forms of sugar were actually out there. And as I learned from Nick, and I then applied that knowledge, I became shocked by what I was reading on these labels. And I very quickly wanted to make those shifts and changes in my kitchen. And I'm a fan, I cook and I love to cook. So not everybody does, but I do. So it was a question of adapting my kitchen. And that was the first thing that I did. I read the material. Nick provides so much reading material that's very clear, very concise, very effective way of presenting it. I read it and I took action, and I converted my kitchen into the ingredients that I could source and go to any time without wondering, is this going to be good for my body? And when I was in doubt, if I was in a grocery store, I would take a picture of a label and I would send it to Nick. And I'd say, hey, it says it has 2 grams of sugar instead of maybe 13, like some of the other ones. And here's the list of ingredients. He'd say, oh yeah, but there's sugar in there. Look at this, this, and this. Who knew? I didn't. So slowly, over a period of, let's say, the first couple of weeks, I went to adapting my kitchen. And the other thing that I was already in the habit of doing was weighing in every day. Not everybody likes to do that. I do, because I like to track my statistics. It's how I stay accountable to myself. So I was already using a BMI weighing scale called Renpho, and I know Nick has talked to people about it since. And what I love about the scale is that it tracks all of my results. And I will give you a couple of those in a minute, just so that you see how you can track the results to keep you feeling like you are moving towards that goal steadily, day by day. So I began cooking delicious meals with the ingredients that I had now adapted and finding more new ways of cooking delicious meals. My husband was doing this probably 80%, not specifically 18-6, but over the last 15 weeks, I would have to say that he has become 18-6 adapted, and he has released weight from his physical body as well, and he feels terrific. I had to make a very big change in how I drank coffee. I was a coffee with milk gal, and he was a black coffee drinker, and he encouraged me often to come over to the dark side. And I drink my coffee black now. And it's one of those things that I really resisted making that little tiny change. One of the other things that I did was eliminate any kind of alcohol. We love to have a glass of wine with dinner. That became a non-negotiable for now, forever. But I have not had a glass of wine since I started working with Nick. And it has created this feeling in me of wellness all by itself. My water intake went from maybe a glass or 2 a day to 6. Electrolytes and the supplements added to my day-to-day living has been phenomenal. The electrolytes is something that I adapted to right away, and I still do use it right now. Every day I drink 1.5 of these, if not 2, every single day. At the beginning, I thought 18-6, eating at noon, eating at 6. We used to eat at 7 or 8 because we would come back from places, and we adapted our entire schedule around 18-6. And whether it's between 12 and 1, or sometimes 12:30 and 1:30, or between 6 and 7, or sometimes that 15 minutes or half an hour that we have to be flexible with, we have stayed on track with 18-6. And slowly over time, I adapted into the 24-hour fast. So currently I do 4 24-hour fasts a week and 3 18-6. And every 2 weeks, I add a 30 or 40-hour fast into my schedule. I adapted meals at the restaurants that we would go to. I would bring my own salad dressing. I would bring salsa if I was going for brunch and I had eggs. And I became very comfortable with restaurants. Hey, can you make this alteration to the menu? It comes with a, salmon that was seared salmon in a whatever sauce. Can you hold the sauce? Can you hold the dressing? And I adapted all of those meals. And I added my walking into every single day. So the actions that I took at the beginning may feel, wow, I have to do all of those things. But the mindset that I move through each day with is I get to do all those things. I really do get to do all those things, because guess what? 15 weeks later, 100 days later, what are my results? It's a day-to-day renewed commitment with your discipline to you. Your discipline and your commitment is to yourself. And when you work with Nick, he is the best guide that you could ask for. He is, he not only has the knowledge that you're looking for, but he has the compassion and the ability to cheer you on a regular basis. He's built a great community, and you really do feel like, you know, he's got you. And that was what I was looking for. That's what I got by working with Nick. And at the end of the day, my results are a testament to the choices that I make every single day. So as a coach, I can recommend actions for my clients to take, but it requires client participation. And so in these 15 weeks, as I move into the next 15 towards the 31st of December, which was my ultimate goal in this particular season of my year, the 6-month season, I added the exercise program in my gym here where I live. And that is the part that is now ramping up the results that I've achieved so far with walking as my exercise. Now we've added, my husband and I both added the exercise. So it's going to be interesting the next 15 weeks to see how it creates the final result that we've been looking for. But here's where I am now. So 15 weeks in, the BMI scale tells me that my BMI, when I started on the 10th of June, and I'm just going to read quickly from here because I don't know it off by heart. My BMI was at 33.1. Okay. It's now 27.8. So it's gone down by 5.3. That's pretty good. My body fat. Okay. The BMI scale gets you tracking all of this, and you can kind of look at it like it's a game. And it went from 43.3 to 35.2. So it's also down by 8.1. My water in my body, which couple of glasses to 6 glasses, it went up in my body percentage from 38.9 to 44.4. That's up by 5.6%, which is pretty significant. My subcutaneous fat, which if you're working with Nick, you know, he talks about that, the fat around underneath, around where your organs are, went from 38 to 31.5. So that's 6.5. It's gone down. And the visceral fat, which is where I've seen the most results in my body shape around the middle, has gone like this. I'm down 4 clothing sizes. It has been an incredible journey of how feeling through this and watching my body release all of what it doesn't need anymore through the dietary information and really understanding my why behind all of this. Why would you want to do that? That's what you want to get attached to. That visceral fat's gone from 15 to 10. That's 5 solid points down. And one of the ones I have the most fun with is I'm 61, and according to the scale, I was 68 when I started this. I'm now 65. So like Benjamin Button, I am I'm going backwards in time. So I'm 65. My goal is to be 59 and get out of my 60s as far as the scale is concerned. And the scale tells me that I've released 33 pounds from my physical body. And I feel that. I feel it in ways that go way beyond the scale. And that's energy, that's sleep, that's inflammation completely gone. Energy has been fantastic. Enough of that to now infuse into my resistance workouts in the gym and my swimming. And I'm a kayaker, so we're still out there this time of the season here on the St. Lawrence in the Thousand Islands where I live. So a few words. I cannot say enough about Nick. If you're wondering whether or not this is a journey you want to embark on for yourself, for your self-care, for your future, please give Nick your time, your attention, and your trust. He has been the most incredible resource for me and continues to be, as well as the group that he has created, the community that he has created, that will cheer you on along the way. And any question that you have, Nick will answer. And if he doesn't have the answer, he will find you the answer. And if there's any of us that you want to reach out to learn a little bit more about the different tools and tricks that we have applied from Nick's knowledge, please don't hesitate to do that. So thanks, Nick. As always, I appreciate you, and I look forward to our continued journey together to our optimal health. Thanks, everyone.